Whew, good morning. It's a hot one. We had incredible rain come in around 6:30, I think, this morning, and man, it was a pretty good storm, which we really needed. It's been hot, 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 but man, the humidity is something else. So everything here is looking good. Like things are coming up. We got some sproutage going on. Need to move that spider web or nothing's gonna come up. Yeah, I see some dill down there, and so yeah, we'll see what comes up. There was a little eating going on here, and I found a little worm. I just took them off, So, but I love this. It's so easy to see stuff and get to it. So, love that. Let's go to my high raised beds. And I can't wait to get this fourth one in because I'm like, I want to plant this. I want to plant that. I want to do more. I want so many more green beans, man. Cooked some for the first time last night. These tomatoes, they are delish. They're delicious. So this is doing pretty well. I'm trying to get, basically a stem per line here. It's working pretty well, but it's pretty well supported. I think I'm going to get, pulling this one down. It's going to get closer. And then, of course, we got a lot more tomatoes coming on. I already need to prune this. I need to prune it like every other day and get rid of these, so all the energy goes into everything else. So, but yeah, it's pretty happy. This one decided to grow upwards, so I'm just like letting it go. It has tomatoes on it, so, But look at the basil, man. It is taking off. It's time for some pesto. I got some pistachio. I'm going to do some pistachio kind of pesto. And then the eggplant are really starting to go crazy. Of all of the beets, it looks like something's been in here. Of all the beets I planted, I have one, maybe two coming up. I don't know if I'm going to plant more because, let me tell you, those green beans have gone nuts. Look at this squash, man. It is, look at that blossom. Oh, it's huge. Now I want some stuffed squash blossom. All right, so the green beans are taking off. I found this. That's what the squash, you gotta be watch out for these runners, because this one I found like taken over here, and I thought I had already pulled a couple of those up that were trying to run away from me. But these are covered with blossoms, and we picked a bunch of green beans. They're already coming up. These are yellow beans, but I ate some last night that were green. They were still good. Sweet potatoes, they're loving it over here. They're doing really well. And that yellow squash, it finally made an appearance, thank goodness. But it's loving this heat. So I need to get a stake there because I'm just going to grow it up a stake. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I have another hog panel, but it's a long one. It's the second arch for when we build this other bed here. But yeah, these green beans are going to be loaded. I'm loving it. But I want more. I love green beans, so I would love to have 52 weeks in a year. I'd love to have 52. I'd even take 26 servings, or not servings, but bags. So I try to do 3 meals a day when I cook, and that will be, dinner for us, and then a lunch for Chris with leftovers. So yeah, that's why I said three servings per meal. And then 25 weeks in a year. 52 weeks in a year. So, yeah. If I could get 26 times 3, 9, 70, 69. Yeah, that would be good. And then this squash, this is the delicata squash. These are the 1 pound individuals. So these tomatoes, remember I lost track of my tomatoes. So these tomatoes are much like those. And you can see this tomato over here. This must be the Jet Star because this one is a bigger one. And then it was crazy because I lost track. I don't know what's what. And these are the San Marzano tomatoes here and here. And so we're still waiting to find out what this one is here. We have tomatoes here, but we'll see if they get any bigger. Oh my gosh, that smells so good. So my overwintered pepper totally died. The jalapeno, it's coming back. So, but I don't see any benefit to overwintering if this is what you get, you know. It's been tough coming back. This one really struggled. And it was a whole, look, we have a squash. It was a whole winter of taking care of that. And actually we were out of town the month of December, so that was the neighbor kind of taking care of those things. So, since we know all my orchids died. So anyway, we're getting some squash blossoms, so that's awesome. Now I've been trying to like break off some of these stems just to keep the airflow going here, not have them touch each other so much. But yeah, I really need to get down here low and get some of this bushier leaves out. And I know these are edible, but I just, especially since we just had that major rain, I'm going to thin some of this out real quick while we're here. My goodness, it's just insane. Alright, that's a little bit better, but it needs a lot more. Could use a lot more pruning here. Like I said, especially down at the base, but look at all that water it's holding. So we'll get to that. So, and again, this one that I pinched off, it's doing well. I have no support for it over here, though. I'm going to have to come up with something. I don't know. I have some rods in the shed and T-posts in the barn. I'll probably T-post that squash because they get pretty heavy. But, yeah, need to do something. But yeah, it's definitely some pesto time. I can't wait. So, everything smells so good. And I rooted this rosemary, but it's struggling a bit. We'll see what happens. So let's go check out the orchard and the ground garden with the corn. And here's our corn. It's looking good. It looks like we have some knee high by the 4th of July. I guess it depends on how tall your knees are. I need to go out here and do some hoeing. That ain't happening today, but you know. And then Chris had planted some more corn in this row. It's all coming up really well. It's looking good. I don't know what pattern he was using, but I think I need to go in and thin some of that out. Tomato here, it's really loving it. But this gets a little bit more morning shade and afternoon shade. And the cucumbers, they're really coming in. Oops. Let's try and get focus here. Focus, people. All right. There we go. We have all the cucumbers. They seem very happy. And another tomato on the end. I put a bunch of zinnias in here. They look like they're happy and coming up. I have a bunch of, I forget what these are. Are they limey or are they red? I did a couple. I like those greenish zinnia. I think they're beautiful. But I also like they call them the bells of Ireland. Love those flowers. It's so funny. You'd think I'd like something more colorful, but I just love the shape of them. And the same with the zinnias. But yeah, all that's looking really good. Then I'd planted some broccoli here. I don't see any signs of it. So it could have been old seed. Probably was. The okra is starting to come along now. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 over there. Whoops. I've got reflection on my camera, so sometimes if things are out of focus or something, that's probably why. I live in Georgia. We get a lot of glare, and then you can't see the screen. And then here's some more okra down here. It's just coming up. So, but I think everything always does so much better after a natural rain. I don't know what it is about that. I can put a sprinkler on for a couple hours and not see much difference the next day, but I don't know. Something odd about that. So let's check out the berries. Now this first blueberry, it's about picked clean. And it's strange too. So that, again, I mentioned this, I believe, in my last video. This blueberry gets the most shade. And it is the first to start putting out blueberries, but I think it's the same as the one, sorry, all the way down there at the very end. So I don't get what the difference is, except the shade. So, but yeah, you can see there's not much left. We've pretty much picked it. And I had a problem getting from this bush to this bush, but now it's this bush that is overloaded. And so by the time I get out here in the evening and pick, it's hard to get to the next bush. I don't know, this one isn't too bad. I've picked a good bit off of this one already. So, this is a low bush. It's kind of just coming in to its own. It was nearly dead. We've been getting lots of blackberries. Looks like the birds have too, though. This blueberry is a little later. And see, that's a low bush too. They struggle a bit, but they have some big sweet blueberries on them. And of course, here's the dripper. I'm gonna call this the dripper because it's just dripping with blueberries. Alright, these are tasting a little dry. Hopefully that rain will help those. I ended up cutting off the stem with the pomegranate on it. I don't know. I'm still playing with these. I'm learning how to grow pomegranates still. I trimmed this apple back because the top was dead. So it should start bushing out a little more. And with all this heat, these new apple trees really needed a good soaker. So they're trying to put out leaves. This one too. This one's doing the best, actually. I think that's a yellow one. And I know I've been talking about this forever, and I haven't cleaned up my mess. But this weekend, I trimmed this down to one stem. So this Satsuma orange is now a one stemmer, and that should encourage all the side growth. I think the top got frozen, which is fine. That'll mean that it'll stay about this height, and then just branch out. So I'm happy with that. I really want those peach trees. Some of them are too high. I've talked about it before. There's a guy, apple, this spot again. My suffering spot. This has no figs on it. But if I pinched it, it would get figs. But I just want it to like do something. This spot is hard to grow anything. So I don't know why. Mulberry. These figs, they're going to be so big. I cannot wait. Look at that stickiness coming out. Look at that moisture. Oh, it's so sticky. It smells so good. But the whole tree smells delicious. I mean, the birds must go nuts coming by here. So I imagine we're going to freeze a lot of these. This is blueberry. I think the birds have been hitting this one up because it's a little bit more back here. But I need to pick these. I already have some new growth coming out on some of these too. This one's a little drippy. But this one, like the other one, was also a little dry on the berries. But yeah, the blackberries are just... I've been out here picking. My former roommate came over, spent the night. It's an Asian pear. So he came out here picking blueberries and blackberries, and so I sent him home with a couple good full bags of them. Peach tree, done. No peaches. Like I said, I'm going to prune that back severely. Oh, and I did prune. I took off all this growth here, except that one, the lopper I had wasn't enough. I need my heavy duty loppers to get that off, and that'll help bring some energy to this tree. So, yeah. Crows are already out. So many blackberries. It's so humid. Some of these look really good. Oh, yes. So sweet. Here's our pawpaw over here. There's some pawpaw here. They're getting close. I'm getting way close to getting ready. Starting to get a little yellowish tint on them. So, really excited about these. This fruit. I can't believe how much this yielded this year. Fruit, we'll see what we actually get to eat. Might come down to 2 fruit again. But 2 fruit that are delicious and rare. So like I said, you'll never see those in a grocery store. Mulberry. There are still some dead peaches hanging on here. But There might be one way up there. It looks like no, it's just a yellow leaf. So I'm gonna cut these back severely. I need my handsaw for that though. I need to pull that tree out of the ground. This fig is doing marvelous, darling. It's a little bit further behind on some of them. Some are little, some are larger, but not as large as the Chicago fig. And now you're really starting to see these fruit on this persimmon. I mean, it just loads up with fruit. Every limb has at least one or two. Oh, look at that one. It's a funky one. Look, it's deformed. It's twins. Oh, let me make sure you saw that. See how it's got like a little booty on it or something. It's funny. But yeah. Oh, they look so nice. But yeah, if you're going to plant a fruit tree, this is definitely one to pick. You can see how beautiful the fruit looks. Like hardly anything preys on this stuff. I don't know if it's because they haven't discovered it yet or what the deal is. Now, we did have a cocoon, and then I removed it. Hopefully it wasn't anything like a butterfly or something. So we'll see. Oh, I've got a dead limb there I missed. It's just a tiny one. Need to prune this a little more. Oh, well, there you go. So, yeah, love this tree. And I planted that. Did I plant that 3 years ago or 4? But it's a great producer. And I love it because it's also the last fruit of the season that you can leave on. You don't have to process it. You just leave it on, and you can eat it hard. You can eat it soft after a frost. So good. So good. Well, thanks for joining me out in the garden today. Whew, it's humid. Finally getting that tooth problem I've had for Bimbo and I have been going through teeth things. So I had mine, I canceled a couple shows last year because I was having problems with a tooth we couldn't determine. Finally, I think January, it calmed down enough. They did a root canal, and then my dentist wouldn't fill the root canal until I was pain-free, but I still have pain. So I went back to the endo, and because it went from, October when I started having the pain till January, I had a massive amount of bone loss, and it was pretty severe. But when he did the root canal, I went back because I'm like, the pain's still there. And so he did a 3D scan, and the bone is growing back. So whatever he did, it's helping. I'm just going to have pain for a while because it was so severe. So today I get that filled. I'm so glad. But this has been a pain and expensive, and I'm ready to be done with it. So getting that today, and then I get a physical Wednesday. Yay. So we'll see how that goes. But y'all have a good one. Just stay cool, stay hydrated. Most important, stay hydrated. And I watch my sodium and everything, but I've been drinking, I've been outside doing some stuff, so I drink one of the little Gatorades, the smallest ones, and just one a day, not a lot, and drink plenty of water. I'm trying to drink, I always drink 4, so I drink like 32 ounces, 64 ounces, 48 ounces. I drink 48 ounces minimum every day. No, sorry. 64 ounces of water minimum every day. And that's even in the winter. And then I try and drink more now, even with the Gatorade. I try and add another 24 ounces to that. So I'm going to get in where it's cool. It's only, it's the crack of 10:58. Can you believe I'm up? My hours are getting better. I'm getting more sun. I think the vitamin D is helping regulate my my sleep. Getting out of the house and getting some sunlight, fresh air, vitamin D. And, Chris was having to take vitamin D pills. So I'm like, I'm out more than he is. So I've got to be low on vitamin D. So I've been allowing myself to be out in the sun more. After a cancer scare, it's skin cancer scare. It's kind of hard to make yourself get out in the sun. But I do. So, but not too much. And I wear a hat. So protect yourself still. But if you can put on sunscreen and get out right away, it takes about 15 minutes for that sunscreen to start working well anyway. And check out ewg.org for, really good cancer-free chemical cleaning products, face products, sunscreens. Because a lot of the stuff we put on our face and body does cause cancer, believe it or not. So ewg.org is a great place to check all that stuff out. But y'all take care. Oh yeah, my zinnias, they're coming up. This is an ugly area, so I'm trying to give it a facelift. But we do need a pressure wash here too. But those seeds there, they died. I think because I had them here and it gets really early sun. Just in that corner there, it didn't affect this pot, just there. So I'm trying to keep these moist every day. Oh, and I've got mammoth sunflowers that are coming up. And those are old seeds that my neighbor gave me. So, and she's in her 80s. So, hoping that those come up. All right, y'all. Have a good one. Appreciate you watching. And we'll see you later.